Hi, I'm Bob McCoskrie. As part of the celebration of Mother's Day this coming weekend, I wanted to make you aware of a research paper which we published a couple of years ago entitled Why Mothers Matter. It provides an overview of the distinct way mums love, care for, protect and teach their children, drawing from the last few decades of leading research from the worlds of professional child psychology and child development science. The most significant differences explained in the report include the physical difference of mothers to fathers in their interaction with the child, the different styles of play, problem solving, protecting and discipline of the children, and the important role of mums in the child's language development and her influence as the child develops into a young woman or man. The author says this: mothers have irreplaceable influence in each of these essential areas of healthy child development, while usually unaware they are doing anything unique or important. Mum's femininity not only gave birth to and nourished her children, but helps them develop into the unique, healthy and influential human beings society requires. New Zealand cannot exist without her. She does what no other person in the life of every human being can do. Let me read that again. New Zealand cannot exist without her. Which is kind of ironic, isn't it? In a world that seems desperate to ignore and minimise the unique roles of each parent, this extensive research highlights the fact that mothers are different to fathers in what they bring to parenthood and are very necessary. Because of that, and for the best outcomes for a child, both mothers and fathers are key to a child's biological, psychological and emotional development. We should celebrate mothers and mothering. But equality is the buzzword at the moment. And with parenting, attempts are being made to say that there's no difference between the role of mum and that of dad. They're completely wrong. Each parent, both together but individually, contributes to the success and function of the family in different ways. Mothers are crucial for both sons and daughters. They role model for their daughters and they influence a son to be wired to care for and protect women around them. But here's the problem. Mothers and mothering are under attack in our culture. For example, midwives at 2 National Health Service hospitals in Britain, Brighton and Sussex, have been told to avoid using the word mothers on its own and have been given a list of alternative terms to use when addressing patients, including mothers or birthing parents, breast chest feeding, and maternal and parental. Instead of saying breast milk, they can choose from human milk or breast chest milk, or just milk from the feeding mother or parent. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the leading US health bureaucracy, uses the term pregnant persons instead of pregnant women. Articles in leading medical journals such as the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology have advocated for the erasure of women in language on pregnancy care. The American Psychological Association has long declared that the word mothering should generally be avoided. Recently, researchers from the Australian National University joined this woke freight train and published a handbook that recommends staff adopt gender-inclusive parenting language. Breastfeeding becomes chest feeding. Mother's milk becomes human milk. Mother becomes gestational parent or birthing parent. One commentator called all of this linguistic abominations. It's demeaning for women and it devalues mothers and motherhood. And one of the very first things that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did with the new incoming President of the United States at the beginning of this year was to make changes to the rules of the House of Representatives to honour all gender identities by eliminating such specific terms as mother and father, son and daughter and aunt and uncle. Instead, only gender-neutral terms such as parent, child and parent sibling would be allowed in the text of the House rules. Now some people will say, look, it's just one document, but the worldwide trend and the momentum is clear for everyone to see who have open eyes. We should celebrate women as they carry, birth and raise their children. But this cancellation of mothers has come to New Zealand. Here's two very recent examples. Example one, just last week, the Labour government confirmed that it wants to live in la-la land, play identity politics, and deem birth certificates meaningless in the process as it continues agenda of ignoring biology. It's all being done under the Births, Deaths, Marriages and Relationships Bill, which I've covered in a previous episode of Family Matters. And one of the things that the bill provides for is for each parent who is notifying the birth of a child to specify whether they wish to appear on the child's birth certificate as the child's mother, father, or parent. Well, if you gave birth to the child, you're the mother. If you didn't give birth, you're the father. Mother, father. There's a Year 4 or primary school biology lesson for you. You're welcome. Example number two. During the atrocious ramming through of the extreme abortion law last year, just before the whole country went into lockdown for a month to protect vulnerable people, yeah, go figure, a select committee hearing was considering changes to help make easier this ability to kill the unborn child. And a heated debate broke out. Did someone speak up for the rights of the unborn child? Did someone raise concerns about the effect of abortion on women? Nope. The furor was because some submitters wanted the legislation to say pregnant person instead of pregnant woman in order to represent diversity. Well, it would have to represent diversity because it definitely doesn't represent biology. In fact, a Green MP, no surprises there, a Green MP, Jan Logie, introduced an amendment specifically on this issue so that the law would categorically say pregnant woman or other pregnant person. That would be a woman also. Have a listen to Green MP Jan Logie's comments during the Select Committee hearing.
When we define woman as any person able to get pregnant, like actually that doesn't fit my understanding of kind of, an inclusive feminist agenda, let alone characterising women by their reproductive potential.
Did you hear that? Characterising women by their reproductive potential. Here's some basic biology, Jan. Women give birth. Men do not have babies. Only persons who are women have babies. Now, fortunately, the amendment was chucked out by a majority of MPs, so there is still some biological understanding present in Parliament. But this is the linguistic gymnastics that's going on, especially in the media. The narrative that men can be pregnant is being pushed. And it's time we called it out. And it's time we said loudly, mothers matter. We know that unfortunately death, divorce and disaster happens. The absence or loss of a mother or the presence of an imperfect mother should be acknowledged. Prayer and support should absolutely be offered. In those situations, mother-type figures in our lives are vital. But we shouldn't deny biological reality. Some groups have suggested, and even some churches have changed Mother's Day to Parents' Day. If you want to honour parents, do that on another day. That's great. They should be honoured. But make Mother's Day about mums, grandmothers, current mothers, expecting mothers, mothers to be in the future. Why? Because mothers matter. Biology discriminates, and so should we, if we want to present the truth. Biology dictates that it takes a mum and a dad to create a child. Celebrate and acknowledge that fact. Oh, and I know some people will be yelling out right now, what about fathers? Dads matter also. Yes, they do. And we've also released a report on that. And I'll tell you more about it when Father's Day is coming up. But for now, happy Mother's Day. We simply couldn't exist without you.